The secrets drug companies don't want you to know. Back with me are Dr. John Abramson and Dr. John LaMattina. Thank you both for joining us. The third secret that drug companies don't want you to know is that you often prescribe drugs that you don't need. And there's an accusation that drug companies do something called disease mongering, which means you're hyping up conditions that really aren't diseases. I'll give you a couple examples. You may have seen commercials around these. Overactive bladder, osteopenia, excessive daytime sleepiness. That happens to be a lot. You know, these are conditions that are problems for some people, but do they really need drugs? Is that how we're going to get to the bottom of this? Dr. Abramson, do you think this is a widespread practice within the industry?
Absolutely, because the drug industry's job is to sell drugs. So they want to, what they do is they get the drugs approved on the market for an indication that's truly helpful, and then broaden the marketing so that you get to a much greater population of people that are candidates for your drug.
Dr. LaMattina, you worked within the industry for years.
You can't just invent a disease. It's impossible to do. For one thing, you don't invent a disease and go to the FDA and says, we have this drug for this disease that we've just invented. The FDA won't approve it. You have to get any drug approved, the FDA has to approve your protocols, your design, etc. Second thing is, then you have to convince physicians that it's a disease as well. So physicians, in my experience, are the best educated people we have in this country. To assume that we can go in and just convince them there's a new disease, I personally think is ludicrous. Third, you have to convince the payers, the insurance companies, to be willing to reimburse for that drug as well, which they're very averse to do even for known diseases. And then finally, you got to convince the patients that they have that. It's an impossible thing to do. So it's not like sitting around with Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland and saying, hey, let's invent a disease. It doesn't happen.
The reason I felt so passionately about doing the show today was because you need to be the one at the beginning of the day and at the end of the evening who looks at yourself in the mirror and says, wait a minute, am I really having that problem? Do I really need to have this happen to me? So I want you from now on to ask yourself a question. What is the real symptom that I was having that drug company's talking about? And when did I start it? And I need you to step up to the plate on this for your own well-being and for the people that you care about. All right, the last secret that drug companies don't want you to know is that drugs target the symptom, not the cause. We have talked about this on the show, but I'm going to lay it out real simple. Dr. Abramson, for reflux, for example, they're used all over the place now.
Reflux, very powerful drugs that have side effects. There's more pneumonia in people who take these reflux drugs because they don't kill the